It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game. Oh, hey, welcome to Murder Moose Podcast, episode 148, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. It's in the game.
Josh, and I want to know, what is 2 weeks from now? I want to see if Josh can math this real hard.
Where did he go?
I don't know. He disappeared.
Oh.
Josh, what's 2 weeks from now?
I don't fucking know.
We're on episode 148. So next week will be episode 149. And that means the week after that, it will be episode what, Josh?
169?
You didn't grow up in the U.S. with the rest of us, okay? You don't get to be that bad at math. Try again.
150?
Exactly.
What's so good about 150? Who gives a fuck?
It's a 50-numbered show. That means it's like, it's not as cool as 100, but like almost.
Yeah.
You're making a big deal out of it, but like I was supposed to know or something. I'm like, what do you mean?
I mean, Josh,
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal because it's like about, I think that's about 50, a whole year's worth of shows Kin's been on. Also. Yeah. Because Kin started like she did the first 3 or 4. This is about a year, like now that I think about it, but we're real close. So
Yeah, because I was on with your 100 episode, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Are you sure you want me here?"
you'd done the last couple episodes before that too. So you've been here a year. I mean,
That's when you were like, yeah, you were a guest, but then you just came back like 2 weeks in a row, and it's like, oh, okay.
It was more than
Okay.
2 weeks in a row. It kept being like Kin's coming back, and we're like, Kin's just here now. It's permanent.
Yeah.
It's permanent. It's permanent. What's up, you beautiful motherfuckers? It's like raining here, and it is a
It's
weird
heat
day.
wave here.
Yeah,
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot, and my dehumidifiers are running. I've gone from a 70% humidity level down to like a 45
Oh my
to
God,
50.
kill me.
Yeah.
And it's so much better.
70%? What is wrong?
70% because I'm in a basement. So,
So?
it's just
I'm in a basement?
It's
Dude,
like
she's in the part of the country that has like
it's a rainforest technically.
yeah.
So
Oh. Yeah, Canada
it's-
is dry.
yeah,
Why
no,
do you
it's
think-
very wet.
Any area of the world that grows Dolly Parton's tits like that size, you just have to have lots of moisture to grow tits that big, Josh.
That's
That's-
science.
Exactly.
Oh,
Tits
right.
tits
Science.
require
It's in the
lots of
game.
moisture to grow as large as Dolly Parton's did.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
I saw it, by the way, in this. I don't know why Dolly Parton like moves my thought process in this direction. But now they have a Priscilla Presley movie coming out, and it just like I think it goes Dolly Parton to Elvis to Priscilla because it was before Talk to Me, and I'm like, we just had an Elvis movie last year, and at some point we have to do Bubba Hotep on the show. But that's besides the point.
Okay.
What was
I
that?
have a Bubba
Josh?
Hotep toy. Right there. Wait, where is he? Yeah, he's down there.
Nice. I love Bubba Hotep. I don't think it's seen it. We went over this at some point, but Bubba
I
Hotep
was
is
like
amazing.
very, very obsessed with Bruce Campbell in my like I don't know when it started. I think I was in my teen years, so I was like super into filmmaking, but really, really into like indie filmmaking. So Bruce was like, oh yes, to me, right? Because
Yeah.
he was hilarious and he was in all the movies that I was like, oh, I could totally make something like this. And then I did.
Yeah.
But it didn't
And
have Bruce
then you
Campbell in
did.
it. So, of course, it really just wasn't good.
How could you not have Bruce Campbell in it, Josh? How?
One day
How?
I'll make a film that has Bruce Campbell in it.
Well,
But I
mean,
better
no-
act fast because he might go the way of Pee Wee Herman. And that would not be good.
How could you say such things out loud, Josh?
I grew up fucking loving Pee Wee Herman. I was obsessed with the movie. I had the doll that with the pull string. He was like a plush toy with a plastic head, and I would put him on the end of my bed, and his hair being like painted black would leave scuff marks on my wall from him like falling, and, and you couldn't get them out. Like there was, he was painting my wall with his head. I miss that fucking Pee Wee.
I have a confession. I've never seen the Pee Wee Herman movie.
I
I
grew up
watched
with
it when
this-
I was really little, and I could not tell you much about it other than a flying bicycle and like random stuff.
I remember when he
Yeah.
went to hell, I would get scared and have to go and sit on the stairs until the hell scene was done.
See, I don't remember that.
I was
don't
obsessed with it.
I watched the show a little bit as a kid, and with Morpheus and the King of the Hobos. But also, on a side note, this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. I don't know. They're making a John Wick 5, and I'm very confused. Is the next thing that because
Yeah, but they're making
Morpheus-
Ballerina first and then John Wick 5.
But I just don't want it to be fucking Saw 10, like where they're doing like. This is John Kramer when he's like 40, when he's like really
This is
872 in real life.
Keanu Reeves, and all of them have just ramped up and made them better and better. So I don't know what you're even talking about. It's like apples and fucking shit in a bag.
No, I mean when a character is no longer alive in a series, and you keep making movies in the series and keep featuring that character.
Yeah, but you saw 10 that he's coming back, right?
I saw what
On the poster it says The Return.
of John Kramer, or Keanu
Yeah,
Reeves?
he's coming back.
I
No,
know-
no.
he's
In
got-
Saw movies. What's his name?
I don't know, man. All I know is that the trailer came out for Saw 10, and they were gonna suck a guy's eyeballs out through weird tubes. And yes,
Let's talk about that.
Sorry, my audio, Josh, is going to have a random slight cut there. The eyeball thing, I am loving that this is like the year of the eyeball.
nope,
Like,
nope.
loving it. There has been
Nope.
so much, like, you've got Evil Dead Rising, eyeballs. You've got this movie, eyeballs. You've got whatever that's going, Saw, eyeballs. Like, I'm all for it.
Nope.
Pop those eyeballs out.
Don't I will say before we get into Talk
man,
to Me
this
Talk,
movie.
I made gasping noises in the theater going ah, like because I was horrified because the fucking goddamn stop eyeball shit, just stop it, stop it.
Listen,
Okay.
if I have to go through years and years of The Strangers and home invasions, you can take a minute and absorb all of
I
the
just don't
beautiful
wanna watch
goodness of
anything-
eyeball gore.
I don't want to watch anything with my trypophobia. Like, I feel like
Your triangle phobia.
no, it's like the holes. Triangle.
Yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
like round or hexagon. I don't know.
Josh
Anything.
Josh is scared of buttholes.
No, I'm not scared of butthole. But if there's like a whole bunch of them side by side, then I'd be like, oh my god, no.
So I think the scariest episode of TV for Josh ever would be the episode of Bob's Burgers when Gail paints the animal buttholes and then they paint them all in the restaurant.
That's such an iconic episode, though.
It is indeed.
And I will never see it.
I know, just like Ken will never see Psycho Gorman.
I don't know about that.
I don't
I'm
know.
just
Like
getting
I said,
influenced by someone else now.
I'm getting influenced. It kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's not just from these two random assholes that I know on the internet. It's in someone in real life is telling me that it's a good movie.
Yeah. I will have to say, you guys, I finished up The Witcher 3 the season this weekend, which turns before Henry Cavill turns into whatever generic Hemsworth brother that's in the show. And that was fine. Like there was a whole episode of a character just trouncing through the desert, which I'm like, whatever. But I watched all of Twisted Metal, and it wasn't
All of
the
it
best TV.
already?
There's only 10 episodes, and they're like 30 minutes. So
I know,
it
but
wasn't.
still,
I had a fun time with it.
it looks
It-
fun. I like
it
the
didn't take-
cast too. Like,
Yeah, it didn't take itself seriously, and it was goofy and a good time. And Anthony Mackie is I was like this man has the most dad bod I've ever seen, and this motherfucker is Captain America, and I love it. They show him without a shirt on, and he's just got like a middle-aged black dude dad bod, and I'm like, this is perfect, and I fucking love it because it makes sense. You're sitting in a car all day in the post-apocalypse, like.
Yeah, but you get paid extra from fucking Disney to do a fucking regiment. He'll get back in shape.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but. And also, I didn't realize Sandman was in that movie, and I thought, or that show, and he looks like he has white hair, so he looks 1 billion years old in it. But
The guy who plays Sandman
in Spider-Man 3, that Thomas Hayden Church or whatever the fuck his name is,
yeah,
that guy. Yep. But no, I liked it, and Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine's in it, so that made me happy. So yes, I would say if you like things that don't take themselves too seriously. And Samoa Joe, the wrestler, is in it as Sweet Tooth, even though Will Arnett voices him, but it's Samoa Joe, the wrestler, as the body of Sweet Tooth. I had fun with it. It was enjoyable.
The body of Christ.
The body of Christ compels you. There's a Exorcist trailer, I guess.
Oh my god, that looks like shit.
Again, this is what you get for watching these trailers, Ken.
I
don't
need
watch
to.
Shit.
I was not gonna watch it because I don't usually watch trailers, but I was like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued. I'll look. And the further in I got, the more I was like, I'll see it. I know I'm gonna see it. I don't know who the fuck I'm trying to kid, but like, I'm not gonna like it.
I don't know. The best Exorcist movie is Exorcist 3. So I mean, I like Exorcist 3 better than I like The Exorcist, but I'm like,
how was it in? I was just gonna say for Twisted Metal, seeing what's her name from Ash vs Evil Dead outside of that, because I haven't seen her in anything except that.
Who?
So it's cool to see her in this.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The lead actress.
She's not in it very much. Let me see something. Let me see. I'm looking it up because I watched all of Ash vs Evil Dead. I'm trying to figure. Oh, is that Rosa?
Oh no, I think. Wait, yeah, that's her, isn't it?
No, that's Rosa.
Oh no, it's the girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right?
I said that like 5 minutes ago.
I can't
Josh.
hear you.
No, you can hear me, but you don't listen, Josh.
No, I have you turned down today.
I turned my mic down. Is it not?
No. In my ears, I turned you down. But then I realized that I'm like, my inner dialogue is louder than you, so I should probably turn you up.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about that, Josh. Like, I don't know what to say. Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly, Josh.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. No, we got other things. We got to catch up a couple more things before we go, and we will.
No, that's what I'm saying. Talk to me.
Talk to me. What else have you guys been up to watching?
Oh my gosh,
I
I've
made
been
a
watching
fence.
it.
I didn't watch anything.
Ken, what do you?
I've been watching so much shit. It's ridiculous.
Good.
I've been watching a bunch of stuff. I've been on a deep dive in podcasts. I'm so deep. I've been listening to Last Podcast on the Left now for quite a while, and Chilluminati, and I have like run out of content, so I'm re-listening to the Manhattan Project series that Last Pod did, and then Chilluminati just released their JFK stuff, their new JFK stuff. So that's been really good. I've been watching.
Sounds like you're looking for some suggestions.
Why, yes. I actually have a whole list of conspiracies that I'm going to dive down into. But I've been watching. I got really into Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then I broke a rule. I had a rule of no plushies.
Appa.
But it's Appa. Yep.
I only know that's Appa because my good friend from my Hearthstone days, Jeff, his online persona was Appa. So I knew these things. All I know is that Classy Katie, when she watched the live action movie, got so mad because of how they pronounced his name.
Who, Aang or
got
Appas?
Aang.
Aang.
Yeah, they said I don't think they said Aang, and she got
Oh
really
my
angry,
God.
upset about it. She got very, very upset because M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong sucks, as we've gone over in
Wait,
this podcast
he
before.
did. Oh, Jesus.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was an abomination. It was
Well, now I
so
kind of want to watch it
bad.
just to see how bad it was, but
I think he did Lady in the Water, and then that was like his or The Happening, and then that was like his next movie was
It was the
Avatar.
fucking spiral to hell.
I've been
in
watching
this
Korra, Avatar. I've been watching The Legend of Korra. I've been watching primarily just a lot of podcasts. I've just been listening to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah. Have you guys been watching the new season of What We Do in the Shadows?
I watched the first couple episodes and now I'm behind.
They did that. I've enjoyed that. Like the last episode was pretty good. And then the new Futurama started. There's a new Futurama.
That was
came out
funny.
last night.
That was really fucking funny.
I liked it. And yeah.
I came into your stream. That's about as much I've been on, like, watching stuff. I was like, oh, I don't know why my TV turned on to Twitch. Hey, look, Rod's on. And as long as I talk to you, that's as long as I've, like, had time to watch shit.
That wasn't very long.
No,
Josh
it wasn't.
Josh was busting my balls and doing the things that he did. So
That was
At
right
least you
before I
did-
saw this movie.
yes. You and Kin both saw it on Thursday night. I was a slacker and I waited till yesterday morning. I waited days.
I couldn't wait.
I can't wait to talk about where I saw it.
It was projected on Dolly Parton's boobies.
Yes.
Like it was an IMAX screen. They
Yes.
double as an IMAX screen because she's got big old boobies.
Yes.
Big old boobies.
Big booby.
What are you doing, Josh?
I love my new phone case. I just keep messing with it. Ooh.
Is it like a stand?
Yeah, it's a stand, but it also holds my, like, cards and stuff.
Oh God, he's got like American Psycho cards.
No, this is my whatever card.
It is 3.6 centimeters thick, and it has the whitest white eggshell. And
You want to see my actual business? This is my actual business card.
put your penis away, Josh. Put your penis away. Oh God. Oh God. Oh my God, Josh. I told you can't show your penis on this podcast, Josh.
That's not what you said last night.
No, I said you can show it to me before the podcast.
Oh,
It's very different. It's very different, Josh.
Oh,
That was like a thing that I needed to see.
Kin's ready.
Okay, let us dive in to Talk to Me, the 2023 movie that came out on Friday. But
Thursday, because Kin and I both saw it Thursday.
Shut up, Josh! It came out on Friday. Okay, and a group of friends. God damn it, Josh! And a group of friends.
in
God
the
damn it,
game.
Josh! God damn it, you ADHD motherfucker! Can I have the Josh back from last week that like paid attention? Okay. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using a balmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. Okay. I have to say, this film gave me Smile vibes.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yes.
a lot of ways, I liked it. Had comparable Smile content, like where like it would be but this movie also made me go like draw my jaw like Hereditary, like at a certain point towards the end of the film because of fucking insane shit.
The
But-
violence in this is violent. Which,
Yeah.
And the sound design adds to the visceralness of the movie. Like, because
Yeah.
without the sound being a slap fucking scares you because it's so loud in the mix on purpose. Fucking great. Loved it.
The sound is really, really great. I will say, and I'm going to say this out front because I want to talk about how much I did enjoy this film. Like I said, Smile vibes, but it felt like it was missing some of that like world building that Smile had. Like I feel like they didn't have the entire like idea of what was happening in their heads as much as the Smile creators did. Like the Smile creators in my brain
Yeah, but the
had this.
Smile was a lot bigger budget and was a studio
Well,
film to
that
start with. This was an indie film that they funded themselves, and then it got purchased by A24.
I listen, Josh. I'm not talking about budget because I don't think Smile's budget was all that much bigger than this movie's budget, Josh.
It was at least $4.5 million more than this movie.
Which isn't
movie
that
they
much
did-
more
movie-
in movies.
I heard they did it for like $1 million or something.
Wait, where the flip did my?
And I
Here it
thought
is.
Smile
they
was
did
like
not.
5 or something.
Talk to me. The budget was, because I just had it pulled up. Hold on. 4.5 million for this. Box office was 10 million. Sorry, you may have said 4.5 and I totally just zoned out.
No, you didn't. No one said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said 4.5 for Smile, I thought, but I could be wrong there too.
Smile wasn't like that much more, but like that wasn't. I'm not talking about budget. I'm talking about the movie being developed. and
Smile was
having-
made for $17 million.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's-
I'm not talking
that's
about special effects,
significantly
Josh.
more.
I'm not talking about whatever.
Significant.
I'm talking about the world building. That's what I'm talking about specifically because I like this movie better than Smile at times, and I like Smile better at times, but I really did enjoy this. I like, and especially like it feels like this movie's been getting more hype than like any other horror movie this year than maybe besides Evil Dead.
Honestly, I liked this more than Evil Dead. In a year that Evil Dead came out and I was anticipating it more than anything, this movie came out of nowhere for me in comparison. And I love this so much more because it knew, I don't know, I have to disagree with you on a few things because like honestly I feel like it is a very genre specific subgenre of horror and it knows all the tropes, but I feel like it changed enough of the things to make it its own thing. Like the hand thing I loved, the way they came in, like all these things you've seen done before, but like layered the way they were, and then the way it's presented and how violent some of the things were, it just it came
But I'm
together
talking
fucking well, especially for
I'm
a
talking
first
about-
movie out of the gate. Like first,
I'm talking
full-length.
about world building. I'm not talking about the violence. I'm talking that fucking thing in Smile had this story where they're like tracing it back. This thing was just like they had like, oh, this guy goes and
but
like tries to.
They do the opposite. I feel like they did it on purpose because of how this one ends, and it lends itself to that this has been going on and just been passed, and like it. I love that it was through the eyes of a high school student and the way they would perceive it and the way they would like get the object as well. It's like, I don't know, it was some guy at a fucking party, and the way it's just like, oh, this guy's doing something cool at his house, let's go and check it out. Like it's that easy to be influenced by your friends and to go into these stupid situations and then to abuse it like they did. And I feel like a normal horror movie with like adult characters like Smile had, there's more sense to it. But the fact that this was, the story was told through teenagers and stuff, it made it so it was, yeah.
The teenager thing wasn't my issue with any of it, and I don't. It's not a big issue. It's the one thing about this film that I'm just like, I wish there was more. Like, we don't know. They kind of joke about it being a psychic's hand or a whatever hand that has ceramic over it, but there is no context into what like it is that's coming through it, right? There's like, it's like, oh, you're talking to dead people, but it just, all it came across to me was there was a demon who was manipulating whoever was opening it to like, do whatever. And it was that
I feel like
the
this-
ending
Well, because of how it ended, it sets it up for potential like franchise movie. Like
I don't
Smile is going to be a franchise. I would love this to be a franchise.
I
to
think
learn
it could.
more.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was funny for how much I loved most of it. I was like I wanted more of like why this was happening in it, and that might have been because they did such a great job with the film overall. Because I want this clear, all right. I just want to talk about the thing that kind of like I was like "Arr," when I walked out. I wanted a little more of like what it was or why it was or like how it was, like, and they didn't give any of that, and I'm just like, but this movie fucking, I think this movie shocked me and made me like go and made like drop my jaw more than a horror film has in a while, man. Like this film, like you talked about the sound mix, Josh, and you talk about the violence skin, and it's just like when it gets violent, this movie gets the first like they do a real good job of making the violence in this movie come out of nowhere, right? Like real nowhere. Like the opening scene of this film, the party and like everything like that, that violence comes out of nowhere. And then the fucking scene, the next scene where it gets real violent later on, it's the same kind of thing where you don't expect violence, and when it comes fucking hard. We go back to the eyeball shit that Ken was bringing up. Fucking, I hate eyeball shit, and they were fucking the head against the fucking desk and the wall, and just like every single time, it just made me cringe. It was like I was like. No, because you feel like your head is slamming against the desk, and it feels like your head is just. I think I don't want to spoil things too much, and maybe I'll spoil it a little bit later on because it was the real thing. One of the things that did kind of drive me to go, but why? At the end of this film, but like, man, the violence in this film when it hits, Jesus fucking Christ! Because I think the last real scene of like couple scenes of violence that happened in this film, like the last 15, 20 minutes of it, I had my jaw on the floor a couple times. I was just like, the scene in the bedroom with the character and her dad, and the fucking the wheelchair scene. Both those, I'm like, I just was like horrified. I was making weird noises, and I'm like the most like I don't make noises at a movie, right? And I was making noises because shocking and just like going like stuff that I didn't expect. It was this movie just like left me going. I feel like they had that perfect insight into what buttons to push on people, right? They were just like, oh, these are buttons. Oh, we're gonna hit this. We're gonna make these like. It wasn't jump scares, any of this shit, right? It was just like we're gonna fuck with you. And we're going to fuck with you real hard in the ways that we know. You know what? I assume, Josh, after the years of these guys doing their jackass videos on YouTube, and like they had like people go, oh, this part of this, and like made people cringe. And they took that and they like amplified like the real world stuff where it was like Johnny Knoxville getting kicked by a bull and going unconscious and like having a like whatever, like that kind of stuff where they did all the shit and people would comment and they like were like listing this shit out and like, okay, we're going to do this in a horror movie. We're going to do this in a horror movie. We're going to do this in a horror movie because fuck. And they're committing this level of violence on like 14-year-olds. Like the kid that has a lot of the violence in the film happen to him is like 14. And it's like they took like Hereditary with the death scene, and they just amped it up to 11. And that scene was already like, what, a 10? They just fucking went, oh, okay, we like that. Boof! We're going to turn up more. Okay, Josh, you could get off the camera off of just me. Did Josh die? Josh, did you talk to me? And then you...
I think he left.
God damn it, Josh. God damn it. Ken, I guess it's just on me the rest of the stream or the last podcast because Josh decided he needed to go have sex or something. He was like, oh.
Oh, no, he's
Why is
back.
there two Kens? Why is there two Kens there?
I don't know.
Josh, can you like... God damn it, Josh.
You
are driving me crazy. Josh, can you be serious? Please. Josh!
Are you done fucking talking? Holy shit, man. There we go.
You put the camera on me, so I talked. God damn it, Josh. I'm fine. I won't say anything the rest of the podcast.
No.
Like that would happen. Josh, I have to say, as like 4 million, and I think a lot of that they were saying in the documentary type thing that they played at the Alamo beforehand was because they were shooting in Australia, and it made, I guess, shooting in Australia is more expensive for some reason. I guess, like, I know that like Sydney is an expensive fucking city. I don't know if they ever said where they were shooting this in Australia, but like, it's apparently not a very cheap place to shoot. Even though I think like places like Marvel and shit go out and shoot there because they can get lots of like open land for, you know, doing big action scenes and shit like that. But
it was shot in. It was set. Oh wait, no, it was set in, not shot in.
I don't know Australia well enough. I just know Sydney.
Yeah, that I'm not positive on. I do know that I'm just gonna jump around for a second. I saw this at a really cool place that I did not know existed. It was called Central Cinema in downtown Knoxville. It's in like kind of a more art style part of town. It's very like, there's not a lot out there, but the stuff that is out there is great. They're trying to kind of like revive that part of the city, I guess. But it's really cool because it's a single screen crowd-funded theater.
Oh, that's cool.
And the screen is very small. Like, it may be, I think the theater itself is probably about as wide as my living room down here. It's long, but it's about as wide. The screen's really small. The sound is awesome. The sound quality was phenomenal. But the whole thing, I guess, was brought up in like, I was looking it up. It's like 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. And then like the community helped fund a bunch of it. And then the horror cinema group in the area that does stuff, they like did a big backing of it. And then people can go in and back bits of it, and then you get like a tile. You like pick a frame from any movie, and then you get a tile that goes on the wall with your name on it. And I think it's only like $30 or something. So like I may throw one up there, but it was really neat. And so not only do they do like, you know, for this one, they did it because it's a horror movie, but like they have like anime days, and they have like martial arts days, and then they have like special screenings. I'm going to go see Old Boy. The original Old Boy that's being re-released. So not the new one that you guys hate so much. I'm going to go see that. They also have like a lot of meet and greets with actors and commentary. Like the actors will come in and do commentary over the movie. And
cool.
They're doing some stuff with the Room movie. They've got some stuff coming up with the people that did the What We Do in the Shadows movie, not the show. But they do a ton of stuff. And then they've got stuff for like kids, and they do, but it's really, really neat. And so like it's closed all day. You walk in, they open like 30 minutes before the show starts. It's a one dude operation. He sells you your tickets and your drinks or whatever. He turns on this little tiny popcorn machine behind him. You go in, it's very like, you're just very respectful of the space. Like it just feels like you treat this space like the best thing ever. There were the coolest Texas Chainsaw Massacre posters I've ever seen that were all signed. They had so much cool stuff. It was an awesome experience. Would I see something like Oppenheimer there? No. Hell no. But Talk to Me in there just felt right. It was like, it was so nice. But as far as the movie itself goes, I loved it. I went into it with this feeling that it was going to be kind of cringy, that it was just going to be kind of meh. Like, I don't know why. It was just something about one of the previews that had popped up in one of the movies that we were watching that I was like, I don't know, like whatever. So when I went into it, I was like, it might be good. And it started out kind of like, I was like, okay, whatever. And then it progressed, and I was like, this is awesome. This is so good. Now, you mentioned sound and like how much the movie did kind of rely on the sound to do its job. There were moments that I felt it was a little bit too much. Like the pillow scene, they definitely do a good job of scaring you when they beat the shit out of her with the pillow. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Did someone get shot? No, it was just a pillow. But
You want to know what was the scene that they overdid the sound effects? The toe sucking.
I was about to say it. I was about to say, oh my God, the best part of that. Okay, so if you're new to this and don't know who we are or who I am, that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to. I have been working in content creation online for the last 8 years, actually longer than that now. But I've been, obviously I grew up with the internet, right? So, and I'm part of the unfortunate generation. Okay, let me rephrase that because somebody's going to get offended. I'm part of the generation, and I guess it's not just my generation, of people that like feet.
I mean,
I'm not going to yuck your arms.
And he's way older than us.
Fair.
It's just a thing. But yeah.
Fair.
I do not like feet.
So I do not either. So it was really funny, though, because there were people in this theater that I guess I would assume that everybody in there had been exposed to the internet because of the group of people that were there.
Yeah.
But when the foot scene happened, there was this one guy behind me that was like, "What the hell? What is that? Why was it?" And I was like, "How do you know?" But everybody around me is cracking up and laughing, and I'm just like, "Wow, that was a ludicrous display right there." I don't know. It was funny. I laughed, but it was just funny hearing everybody else's reactions, which I think is one of those things that I really miss from smaller theaters that are actually full. Because whenever I go to the movies, there's maybe 3 other people there. But this place, because it was so limited, was pretty busy.
That sounds fucking cool, though. That sounds like I've always had the few times I've been to smaller. I mean, Alamo is not huge, but it's it's bigger than a thing like that. There's a theater in Denver. I think it's called the Aztec, and it had 2 screens in it. It's downtown Denver, and it's very old school. And I saw Black Swan there with a buddy because it was the only place playing back there that was playing it, because that was before Alamo even opened up in the area. And it was a cool experience, because it was old school too, right? So that kind of stuff is always I feel you get more movie, true movie lovers that go to things like that. And that's they're more respectful usually. And they're more you're not getting people who are going to get up and walk out in the middle of the movie or talk. And
nobody's on their phones.
Yeah,
I felt because normally when we're in the big theaters, I'll be completely honest, I'll be the one who has their phone down beside them, lowest light level, that'll flip it up just to see, okay, do I have a message? No. There was no way in hell I was touching it, just because you could feel we all respect each other. This is a space. You don't do this. So it was neat.
I mean,
but
that's
it made
kind
the
of
movie even better.
That's what Alamo has built their whole brand on, is respect for film, right? Respect for cinema and respect for movie lovers and all that shit. And it's that theater, I've the amount of times I've gone compared to the amount of times I've had trouble. I had more trouble last year when they were playing Harry Potter movies, and they were people who don't usually go to the theater were there, and they're on their phones. I'm gonna fucking lose my goddamn mind.
That was the experience I had watching Smile.
Was it?
Yeah, there was just teenagers that came in late that kept leaving and coming back. They were on their phones the entire time, and I left my assigned seat and moved to a different one because they were so fucking annoying.
Yeah, man, that's the kind of shit that I will lose my fucking mind. And it's again, I know I'm spoiled having Alamo here, but it's just it respects cinema, and it respects and man, I'm sorry, I'm paying $10 for $15 for a movie ticket. That's a lot of fucking money. I'm not gonna waste my fucking time in money not paying attention and bullshitting and doing all this other stuff, man. And it's fuck. Josh, how long have you followed these guys' YouTube channel? I know you said you had watched it for a while, and they were showing highlights of the YouTube channel before their thing, and I'm just
I love that they put the kid watching the Sidemen in the movie too, because they did a whole bunch of shit with Sidemen over the years as well. That's KSI, who made Prime and stuff. The
yeah,
just massive. I don't know. It was one of those things a year and a half ago, I think. YouTube, I watch a shit ton of YouTube. I don't.
Yeah.
I think the the watching of movies is hard for me now because I know I can't put in more than like a half an hour or so in small chunks of like watch time unless I'm first
Yeah.
thing in the morning with my coffee and city skylines. It's just whatever's on in the background type thing. And I know
Yeah.
if I put city skylines on my laptop, I'm not watching anything that's actually on the TV. So I used to watch the movies for Murder Moose at that time. And then I realized I was like hardly fucking watching the movie. So I don't
Yeah.
know. YouTube is, yeah, they know what I want to see, and they put that in front of me like a year ago, year and a half, and I binged so many of their
Yeah.
videos. It was, I don't know. It's like Jackass meets uh, a whole bunch of the like filmmaking channels that I watch that make like short films, action films, but
Yeah.
they're wrestlers as well, so they're doing their own stunts, and then that's where the Jackass thing came in because they're really hurting themselves and like taking it to the fucking next level for content
Yeah.
and
The stuff that they were showing before the movie at like Alamo, it reminded me of like what like a more violent, what's his name, King Vader, that
yeah.
guy who does like it's more like violent. Like uh, this isn't a shot on Australia, but like I like every like the interactions I've had with Australians and like the talking I've heard and listening to Jason Ellis, who is a skateboarder and he did Serious and he does podcasts.
Oh, does he still do podcasts? I used to
Yeah,
listen to Ellis every fucking day.
Yeah, he does a
to
podcast
and from school every day because
Yeah.
on the way back because his show was in the afternoon on my way home from college and I would listen
Yeah.
to him every day.
I love Ellis, man. But like that man and like his experiences with, and he's got a podcast with Tony Hawk now. Like
Oh,
those
cool,
two
cool.
podcasts together. But yeah, like Australians are very like hardcore motherfuckers, man. And like so none of that stuff like you're talking about surprises me, Josh. And it doesn't surprise me that they were, because like my image, like my interactions with Australian horror has been pretty fucking good. Like the Loved Ones,
Yes.
is fucking twisted, man. It's like that and like
The first show we did for this podcast was an Australian movie.
yeah, what's it called? The one about dementia, which
Yeah.
I think
That was more like highbrow horror, but still.
yeah, and I think that both of you and I probably liked that movie more that like as time went on because that was like a thinking man's horror film. That was like
Yeah.
a very like it was like you said it was highbrow, but like yeah, it was one of those films that you thought about and you kept thinking about because
Elevated. They
yeah,
elevated their eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then there's the slasher one that I really like that I've seen. So like Australian horror has been pretty entertaining from what I've seen.
We used to like do a deep dives into like area specific. It was like, hey,
Yeah.
we're in Paris now. Now we're in Japan. Now we're in like Korea. I would love to like focus again for a bit
I was
and
I
see
was
what
trying
we
to
could
do I was trying to do more French horror and then we kept getting distracted. Like we did Inside and we did
Titan.
High Tension and Titan. Yeah. I want to do Martyrs still at some point. We did Revenge too, Josh. We did
Oh, yeah.
another one that was another
That was really
French
good.
horror. But yeah, French horror has impressed me. There are plenty of other places I would love to dive into more, but like, there's Mexican horror I would like to go into too. Like, because I've seen The Tigers Are Not Afraid. I think is that what that film's called, which is a pretty wild little Mexican horror film too. But yeah,
Didn't we do
it
that?
was. No, I think we talked about it at some point.
Okay.
I watched that on my own, and I think when it was on Shudder. But yeah, like I mean that, and then you go to Wolf Creek, right, which is another Australian movie. Which is
Wolf Creek's fucked.
Wolf
I
Creek
haven't seen
is
that in a long time.
yeah. I think I saw that. I only saw it once. I think I saw it in the theater. They made a TV show too, right? Like they made a TV show based off of it and a sequel. But the fucked up thing about that movie was they based it on true events and like, basically about people disappearing. It was the same thing where like Leatherface is based on Ed Gaines.
Oh,
so
right,
it's
yeah.
like Hannibal Lecter kind of thing. But yeah, Australia is a fucking scary place, man. Everything's trying to kill you. So you get you grow some tough ass motherfuckers in that country, man.
Well, when the spiders are as big as your face or bigger,
And drop bears, the evil drop bears, that with their like chlamydia, they will drop bear into your face and face fuck you, and then you have face chlamydia from a koala bear, Josh. And you want to talk about a way to go? Dying from face chlamydia after your face got humped by a drop bear. And
Speaking of face chlamydia, you guys heard about the leprosy outbreak in Florida, right?
no, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yep.
You know, I feel
How is
like
that a thing?
when because Florida has the most anti-vaxxers out of like any state in the union, and I think that like when your state keeps getting the marks of like the things that happened to the Egyptians in the Old Testament, you should probably start like realizing that maybe you aren't the best people in the world, and maybe you should get your shit together, and maybe you should stop spreading hate like a bunch of bastards, and maybe Ron DeSantis should get like have a
bunch of
unicorn
bastards.
shove its horn up somewhere it shouldn't shove it. I mean, I don't know, all these things. There was a unicorn in Witcher season 3, and now I'm thinking of unicorns doing bad things to Ron DeSantis, but that's just besides the point. No, I it doesn't surprise me, Ken, because people are stupid and they go, Danny McCarthy told me that if I have a vaccine, I will get autism, and it's just like, oh my god, I hate you people. I hate you people so bad. I hate you people so bad. But yes, Josh, as a filmmaker yourself, this has to be a pretty inspiring story, though, right? Like these YouTubers who do this and then make this like really well received movie. How much did you say it made 10 million over the weekend?
Yes.
See, this is way more of a like. I even met like because this is the second movie this year to have one of those like stories, right? Like Skinamarink was one of those stories. I even met the guy and had a good conversation with him and everything. Now he's my friend on Facebook and everything, but that one doesn't inspire me half as much as this one does, for sure.
I hope you told him not to listen to our episode about Skinamarink.
Yeah, I'm not telling anyone like that I have a fucking podcast that we just dunked on his fucking movie. No, it wasn't me, but my podcast definitely dunked on that fucking movie. So
I mean, to be fair,
I was very politically. I'm like, I'm gonna meet this fucking guy. I am not saying anything.
We weren't like, to be fair, we were honest about it. We weren't trying to be dicks because we're usually very, very, very positive about most movies here. And
it had to be talked about, though. Like with the amount of buzz it had, it didn't matter if it was positive or not. I think, like it's not gonna hurt it because it's already just way bigger than it probably even should have been. But fucking kudos to those fucking Edmontonians. Fucking Edmonton, one of the worst places to live.
I mean, we were talking about they were talking about it on like I saw it on YouTube or something about like this movie, and then like Skinamarink, and then like the high school kid that's making the movie about the back rooms or whatever. Like it is.
He's
like,
got to make it now. Like the amount of fucking. I don't know. Like, there's so many things up in the air about like who actually owns the rights to that, like, whatever. I think he's stubbing his foot, like signing contracts, because all the Hollywood studios want is now they've made it, and now they have their lawyers backing the trademarks of all that shit, and it's gonna fuck the whole vibe of that thing was the fact that it was made in the dark web, and no one knows who actually owns it, and blah blah blah. And it's like it's the internet doing internet things and making it into things, and it's not about who owns it or who's making money off of it or who's successful, who's not. It was the meme that was the meme that was the meme, and now it's going to be the meme that's the meme. Oh shit, now it's owned by Hollywood. All that other stuff goes away now.
Yep. Hollywood
because they want their
everything.
fucking money.
As we said, we see we're in the middle of a writer's strike and an actor's strike, and how much is one of the only companies, I guess, that's allowed to make movies right now during the strike is A24, because they're not they met all the demands of the writers and the actors.
Of course they did,
because they're not shit.
They're
people.
small enough as well. Like, it's not going to be. They were probably the closest to fair you know, regardless, and to
Yeah.
become fair for what they were asking was probably like, oh yeah, no problem. Like that's just
Yeah.
like this much more. But in the other case, it's like, no, our shareholders and I want, another fucking mansion and eight other. No, it's fuck off.
It's capitalism, man. It's
Mhm.
capitalism just over the edge. Ken, I have to ask, um, with how much it surprised you, like what was your when you walked out, were you like, I did not expect this like at all? Like, or were you just because I know that you're like Josh and I myself that you seem to generally enjoy most horror, even when it's like not great, but you can just have fun with it. But like, what was that? What was the factor of this film that just like grabbed Kin by
The
the
penis.
butthole, the Kin penis, her spirit penis? What grabbed you by your spirit penis and made you like erect? What made you spirit penis erect?
The transformation that happens when she lets the first one in. Like
Yeah,
when she
I made a
sees
poster
it.
out of it.
Yeah. When she sees the first spirit, I definitely was like, "Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
that's cool, whatever." But when she lets her in or lets the spirit in and just the transition of everything and how well it was done,
yeah,
like that really sold me on it. And then the fact that it still kept that like teen childlike element of, oh my God, that was the most terrible thing I've ever done. I feel awful. Let's do it again. Like
Yeah.
that was actually kind of cool. Like normally you would
yeah,
think, oh, whatever, but they're kids. So it kind
yeah.
of gives it that a little bit
They
of a
knew the
pass.
tone.
Yeah. They did it really well. I was also a little bit worried um about the like whole social, because if you don't know this, I have a real issue with the way that social media is portrayed in movies a lot of times, especially when it comes to quote unquote influencers, especially when they mention like Twitch streamers and stuff, because they generalize in such a manner that it's sometimes like painful, I guess, to watch.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that we're cringy. We know we're cringy. Don't put us in a box kind of thing. But like when the first initial violence happens, I was like, whoa, this is pretty good, whatever. And then it just kept going and then it got better. And then the ending, at first I was kind of like, but the ending was so good. And I was so glad the way that they brought it back together. I really like it got kind of shaky there for a minute, but then it like came back around. And I didn't feel like there was too much filler. I didn't feel like there was too much fluff. It
I
felt
mean,
like it did a
I
good job.
loved how they at the beginning when you first see it because she's the lead, you see it through her eyes. And I think that the thing that landed that scene even more is that the next time they did it, we got to see it through the other people's eyes and how like because they did it so well, like bringing the audience in on the gag and seeing the ghost and like how they like layered it and actually made it like feel holy shit, like kind of crazy, and then seeing it from the skeptic's eye, and there
yeah.
was no shaky cam, there was no first person view, it was just like nothing's happening, and you get to like be your own judge of like, oh, what the hell, they're just acting weird and stuff now,
Yeah.
but you're not like enduring it like the audience
They
member did before, so it
I mean
gives
they
that
went
juxtaposition between the two and it lands both so well.
I mean, they went full 80s comedy with the montage scene. Like, where they're montaging. It was like South
Yeah,
Park. It
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
everybody loves a montage. And they're like all laughing and like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then, but I was thinking as we're
It
talking about
shows
this.
the adolescence though, like that they're
Yeah.
not taking this seriously and that they're really abusing this thing. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I have to ask, do you think about this? The 90 seconds, how many times were they doing this thing? Someone down the line, when someone figured this shit out, that they were like, they nailed down 90 seconds was the safe part? Because it's like, you're thinking about it. Oh, this guy did this for like 3 minutes and then like he stabbed his like grandma in the face with a chainsaw. So we should probably not do that long. And then then the next guy does it and then he like murders a whole like pen of kittens, and you're like, oh, okay, we shouldn't do it for that long. Like, how long down the line with how many horrible things happened before they got to 90 seconds? And also, I want to say that some of
I
the
think it was
supporting
more
actors-
from the other side. They saw the guy at the party stab his fucking brother, and they also were like, they were,
but no one saw that. Like, no one saw that. Like, the black guy who had it, like, got the hand from him. I don't think he was at that party, was he? Was the black guy
they
at that
all
party?
heard about it because everyone had social media going. They just yelled at everyone like, "Put your fucking phones away!" And then he, like that opening bit hit hard, and again with the sound, it added to it, and I was just like, "Oh shit, this movie is like, it's gonna go hard," and I'm excited now because that was well fucking done.
The kid Zoe Haley in the movie, the actor was Zoe Tarakis, the kid with the nose ring that I wanted to punch every single time he was on screen.
The guy who smokes in her parents' house and then flicks a cigarette.
And it's just like,
ugh.
It's like
who
the
is
main
that fucking douchey?
And he was like the main instigator in a lot of, and he was the one like laughing about it. Like, I think him and the black kid who had the hand were like the two like most notable like side characters, right?
Yeah.
Really. And they were both, because the black kid, every time he was on screen, he made me laugh because he had like a good sense of humor, it seemed like. But those two, man, I'm like, they were like, the Zoe, like Haley kid was like, this bad shit's happening, and is like, and as soon as the little brother got fucked up, he like walks out and he's like trying, like his first thought process is, how do I get this not to be my fault? You know what I mean? And it's like, this little fucker, I just want to strangle him.
Let's all get our stories straight.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, you little bitch. And he just seems like
but the violence of that little kid smashing his head got very violent. And then the prosthetics they put on after were fucking insane.
Dude. And they ramped that up into the fact that when he did it the second time in the shower, I was like,
well, you already feel the kid's pain and you feel this empathy for him. So when he's then hurting himself even more, it's like you usually don't see the after effects of a horrific event in horror movies. They really use that character to like drive the horrific like events.
Okay. I want to spoil. I know we've spoiling a lot of this stuff. I want to spoil. So if you're like listening and haven't seen this, go watch it because it's fucking dope.
Spoiler alert.
3, 2, 1. I have to ask, because I want to ask you guys like thing on this. The thing that this is what kind of drove what I talked about at the beginning of the podcast. At the end of the movie, she's dead, had died from whatever, like
being pushed and ran over.
But she then sees Riley and his family like getting out of the hospital, and it's like she's really there
because she's dead. So time is like, doing whatever.
But that's like, so was it time, or was that the demon or whatever the fuck it was had a grip on her because she was the first one that went over 90 seconds and was using her to fucking channel into Riley? That's what I'm wondering. Because they said they're never going to let go, and she dies and then they let go of him. I was trying to figure out how that fucking happened.
Because she was being manipulated to, like, she saw what they wanted her to see.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he was actually being held and all that stuff, right? Like, I don't know. But at the same time, he hurt himself and then was a demon again. So, it could be either or.
That's kind of like the logic that I was like, I wish I got a little bit more information out of why that happened in that way and how the channel, it was like almost like It Follows, like with demon possession, right? Like it was like, okay, this is going to be, this person going to do this. And then this person, but like, it wasn't a big deal. I just want to talk about it because it was the only thing that I was like, and it wasn't a bad thing. I just wanted to know more. I wanted to know more about the little things that I didn't need to know everything, but it just like the ending, especially, I'm just like, also the only other time I've ever dropped my jaw in a movie theater was like Hereditary when the girl hit the fucking head the light pole was she fucking stabbed her dad and my jaw went.
Mm, I loved it. Like
It
that
was
scene, because it
that
was like it
and
was leading up to it. It was like this preconceived thing in her head that was
yeah.
manifesting what was going to happen. It's
Yeah.
fucked.
Well, I mean, it was you got that like that pre-con, like that pre, like oh this is good, like she's seeing shit was the toe sucking scene, right? We were talking about the toe sucking scene already, and how that led to her stabbing her dad in the fucking throat. Which I don't even know. I might not. That might have been like a gasp, but either that or the fucking. I might have actually gasped or like dropped my jaw when I thought she had plunged Riley on top of the
See,
fucking moving cars.
the way
I
it
don't.
completely ended though, with the her holding the hands with the other foreign people from who knows where. I love that there is no explanation. Like the fact that you wanted an explanation was the whole thing that I loved that there wasn't, because that was just
Yeah.
enough to explain that it's going to continue, and it was obviously happening before, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter anything. It's just that this is a thing, and it's just enough of this world to leave me satisfied but still wanting more. And I think if they over explained it or gave you what you wanted to be satisfied
Yeah.
at the end, it would have been too much exposition, and it would have, I feel like they left all that out and made it just perfect for me.
You know what? This movie kind of reminds me of heroin. Like these people were doing something because it was euphoric, but they were doing it and it could pretty much fucking kill you, right? And like that's kind of what it kind of like. I was thinking about that as we were talking about today, because like they were talking about how like they do this, they do this experience and it's so good that they're like they keep wanting to do it even though it's dangerous, right? So it's like that weird thing, and maybe Riley was like a easier target because he was under he was younger or whatever. But I don't know, man. I really did dig this movie. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be, and like I I don't know. It was that thing where like I don't know completely what I was kind of missing a little bit, but like that doesn't matter. I had a fucking blast with it regardless, Like I enjoyed what this movie did and what it set out to do.
Hell yeah.
So Ken,
Yes.
what else do you have to say about this? Because you were very enthusiastic about it. I want to make sure you get everything that you wanted to say out about it too.
No.
You don't have to, but
I was really enthusiastic about it. I was very I walked out of it and I was excited. Like I said, I haven't I don't know, I haven't had that grit of an experience in a theater in a while.
yeah.
I'm excited to rewatch it. I saw that it looks like it might be streaming on Hulu already. So I definitely
Already?
would watch it. I may be wrong though. Hold on.
Yeah. That would be real quick. I mean, but if it already made 10 million and it's still in theaters and on Hulu, I wouldn't be
Sorry.
surprised.
Talk to me August 19th.
Okay, so it got like basically 3 weeks.
2 months after the Japanese release date. So
Oh, it's been out in Japan already? Wow. Oh,
guess-
I wonder how much it blew up in Japan, because this seems like a very Japanese horror movie, man. Like it would be right up like, like Ringu and like all that stuff, So, yeah, man, I dug it. Josh, what else do you want to say about this before we get out of here?
Fucking watch it.
Yes, listen to Josh. Watch it. This movie's great, man.
I haven't
It was
felt like I don't know. Like, I think actually, I love that you do bring up Smile, because Smile was one of the first movies in a long time that I felt like, oh shit, and like I was kind of like anticipating and like feeling scared, like actually kind of like, oh my god, this movie had that feeling for me for a long time. It took you to a place that made you feel different in whatever way, not right, and then left you there. And then you're just like, oh fuck. So I felt like kind of like, for
it
like
makes you uneasy.
the whole the whole
Uneasy,
movie made me feel uneasy. And like I love that a movie has that much power and knows exactly what it's doing to create that vibe.
I mean, the violence is one thing, and then like I don't even think we talked about it. Her mom's suicide was such an uncomfortable thing, and it was such a driving force for her the whole film. Um,
The
you're just like,
scratching sound. Oh,
yeah, the sound design in this movie was like it was pretty funny though. Like in the like documentary thing they had about them going to Cannes, their DP was there with them, and like they the Cannes film booklet about the films, and like the DP was like for talk to me was question mark, and the guy's like what, like he was freaking out.
yeah. I watched that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then. Like, yeah, but man, it's just cool seeing young creative people getting a chance to do something fucking dope like this. And I know that like, and let's be real, 4 point whatever $1 million is a lot of money for us. It's jack shit for Hollywood. And I know it was a lot for these kids, right? But like it just shows you like 4 million into $10 million over the weekend, and it's going to keep making money. And I'm not saying it's going to make $100 million.
Look at what Barbie is doing, though. It's like getting close to $1 billion already. Like, holy shit.
I had no desire to see that, and now I really want to see it not because of like it being popular, but because I thought that the overall message was going to be something completely different. So now I really want to see it.
Oh,
I do still really
good.
want to see Oppenheimer though, and I really wish I could see.
I'm seeing it in 70 millimeter tomorrow.
I want to see it so bad in 70, but like that's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
For
I'm
a
not
3-hour
drunk.
movie, too.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
whole
like-
day.
That's a whole
Yup.
adventure, man.
Whole
Fuck
last
that.
day.
Fuck that. Yeah, no, man. No, this movie is dope, man. I think that like these guys getting like it's funny. It was funny watching them like get like recognition from like Jordan Peele and Ari Aster and like Stephen
Everyone's
King
just
and
calling them like, wow, that's
Justin,
that type of shit. Like instantly, like the buzz was like fucking instant for this movie, and that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, dude, I mean, I see why it's like that kind of movie where like it hits you and it like leaves that when something like not much makes me feel uneasy these days, but this movie fucking managed to do it. Like you were talking about, Josh, it makes you feel like I got more. Like it didn't scare me; it made me feel uneasy a lot. But then it had scenes after the eyeball scene where he's like trying to pull his own eyeball out. I was like,
It was so good.
uh,
So here's the thing, right?
That's the 11.
My problem with that whole scene wasn't the eyeball scene, and it wasn't even something they emphasized. It was this teeth, because I have a problem with teeth. Anytime that there's like teeth knocked out or anything, that really fucks with me. So like him digging his eyeball out, I was like, oh man, that's really cool. Like, look at how they did that. And then I noticed that like it had shown that he had like bashed some of his teeth, and I was like, nope.
Well, yeah,
I'll watch him pull an eyeball out all day. I don't want to see broken teeth.
you could,
Nope.
yeah, when he was in the hospital bed.
Mhm.
He had no
like his
teeth.
teeth were fucked up. They were fucked up, and it's just like,
And that's a great detail that like
oh yeah,
it may sound silly to be like, oh yeah, it's a great detail, but like some places don't do that. Like really high end budget movies, they'll have somebody get the crud kicked out of them, and then suddenly miraculously their teeth are okay.
well, they were doing this thing in that where like they had added details just to fuck with you. Like his arm was all bitten up. They didn't show you how his arm got all bitten up.
Oh no, he bit himself.
He bit
right off the
himself.
bat. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
did he?
because he
I
bit
did-
his.
I know
Yeah.
he bit his sister.
Yeah, he bit his sister, but then he bit himself in the
Oh.
hospital as well.
Oh, I must
Before
have
he started
missed him.
bashing his head.
Dude, him bashing his head in the shower, it just I was like, and then licking the blood was so Evil Dead. It was
Yeah.
It was
such
so
an evil,
good. It was such a
Yeah.
good way of doing it.
It was just like, like because self harm is always kind of hard for me to watch, but like it's like that level of like that just it's just pure like rage, right? It's just like 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 it's very like possession movie type thing. That's another thing about this. It's very much a possession movie with like without like we talked about it when you guys went and saw the Pope's Exorcist, right? Which was like, oh, it's very formulaic, but it does what it does, well. But like, this movie isn't formulaic at all with a lot of things, right? I mean, it has formulaic elements, but I just thought it was a blast. I really did. Okay, guys, what are we going to talk about next week? We kind of brought it up next, like, whatever, but, like, I don't know. I kind of don't have anything specifically I'm targeting right now besides Martyrs at some point. But I kind of want to do Martyrs for 150, so that's 2 weeks. So what do you guys want to do next week?
I do not care. Whatever you would like to do.
Because my only other options or other things I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about that Brooklyn 45 movie. And I don't. Oh, Cooties was as Master Gara was suggesting. I kind of wouldn't mind watching Cooties, but
All right.
Josh is like shaking his head over there.
It's not bad.
What's your? What do you?
I don't know. It doesn't look that great. I did start watching something. It's another Black Fawn movie called Astonishing Tales of Terror, Rocktopusy.
Okay, no, we're not watching.
It's
We're not
fantasy
watching.
comedy horror.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about it and we'll tweet out what we're going to watch next week. I don't know what we're going to watch, so. Okay, you beautiful people. I love the shit out of both of you. Even Josh when I want to strangle him. I love the shit out of both of you. Okay, guys. Go to murdermoose.com to follow us there. All the episodes are up there. We have Murder Moose on YouTube. Go find us there. We go to joshwrb.com and joshwrb, what's your WRB design.co? Was that what it was? I got
That's
it.
it.
I got it. We got continue.com, stdmotel.com, stdhotel.com, quaintaint.com, only nouns, and then the new one.
Continue.fit.
Yeah, continue.fit, all those things. Rob
Because she's fucking
Johnston.
fit.
She is, man. Ken will kick your ass. All these things. So I'm Rod_Johnson on X, Twitter. Fuck you, Elon, and Twitch to follow me there. And do all
What
these
is
things,
it
so.
actually X? Like that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Yep. He just wanted to see the movie X, and now he's. And the best part was he took the guy who had the X moniker and just reassigned his thing.
Yeah, I just straight up pulled it.
What?
Straight
Yup.
up fucking pulled it. And then when they went to take the stuff down off the Twitter building to pull down the logos and stuff or the signage to put up the X, they didn't have the right permits, so they had to like stop it. And then they put up the X and it looks like a shitty ass Hollywood nightclub from like the early 90s. And it's super fucking bright and it's right out some people's windows and it is not going well. They're putting in like an investigation to see if the brightness levels are too high.
God, what
What
like
an idiot.
you paid $45 billion for a name, dude, and you're changing the name because you're a fucking moron and you can't figure out how to get your shit together. And yeah,
It must be nice to have the kind of money to just intentionally meme on people for grins and giggles when the rest of us are out here struggling. And like, I'm very, very lucky and I know that I have privilege. There are people out there that like, oh, never mind. Anyway, it was great having you guys checking us out. Make sure that you follow us everywhere.
I love you, kid. Okay, guys, follow us next week. Well, yeah, we'll tweet out what we're gonna watch next week. Who knows? Okay, guys, we love you. Have a good time. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Wow! Oh, it's in the game.
It's in the game.